and welcome to another episode of Worst Collection Ever. This is the show where we tell you about the worst comic book collection in existence, and it just happens to belong to us. I'm Jen.
I'm Sean.
How's it going?
Not bad. Another weekend, another convention, I guess.
Oh yeah. Went to another one.
Went to the Retromania Spring Edition out here in the Denver area, more particularly, I guess, Aurora.
Yeah.
So, familiar location, but they definitely feel like they packed a lot more in there this time.
Definitely more than the last time we were there.
Well, yeah, I mean, because it's not the same. It's it's a different thing. I mean, it kind of has to be. But I think it makes more sense because the other place, wherever Fairgrounds it was, if it was just maybe too big, and I think they were probably like, hey, maybe if we just put some, condense some space and we can have it. So it felt like it was packed,
Yeah. Well, it was also nice because I think the last time they had it, it was out in Jefferson County.
Yeah.
Which we had to drive to the middle of fucking nowhere to get.
Yeah, I don't like having to drive all the way out there.
This one's much closer.
But yeah, this one, yeah. And I'm saying it was nice because there was a few vendors there that, I don't know if I was familiar with, so it's good to see some new product. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times people just bring the same product, just tote the same product back and forth for these things.
Sure.
Whether whether they sell it, I mean, that's just how you do it. But I was actually mentioning it a few times, like the G.I. Joes were out in force. I saw a lot more vendors rocking some of those in some fashion, even the old school ones.
Yeah, there were a lot of guys with Joes today.
Yeah, so I thought that was all right. I didn't buy any Joes, but I bought some comics like you did.
Yep.
And you clicked off some of your stuff on your list.
I did.
Did you read that Batman Tarzan? You got Batman Tarzan.
I did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How is it?
It's fun. I mean, it's an Elseworld. It's what you would expect from a book called Batman Tarzan.
Yeah.
If you know anything about Tarzan, you're like, yep, It's fine. It's nothing spectacular, but yeah.
Cool. And I kicked off some of my boxes too of my death list of comics.
Oh yeah, you're looking for people who are dead.
Yeah, people are dead. Although it's funny because I'll be looking at some of these books, I'll be like, I don't know why I need this one. And I should actually probably put notes in my app so I know why I need it.
Yep. And
that will probably help because I just reading this Avengers one and I'm like, well, nobody dies at this issue.
Yeah, that I've run into that a couple times with mine too, where I literally started having to change the color of the font.
Yeah.
To be put an M by it if I maybe want to buy it. And an N by it if I definitely don't want it because I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah.
And then the ones I don't do that to, I know I want to buy. So, yeah, it's because I've bought some too, and I'm like, why was I supposed to buy this one?
Yeah, it's just a waste.
Yeah, total waste.
I like to be able, if I'm buying particular issues of comics, I want to make sure I'm buying the ones that are worth my time.
Right, the ones I want.
So I don't have a box filled with stuff that I'm just like, I guess I bought this.
You're like, why did I buy this again?
Yeah. Although this Avengers does have Fire Lord in it, him being real crabby, which is always a delight for me. So there was that, and I bought Shatterblade Batman.
You did.
And you got your
I got a Nightfall Catwoman, which actually got a really good deal on her because she's super expensive.
That's
the
crazy.
McFarlane one. If you didn't buy her when she came out at regular price, she's like $80. If you go on Mercari or eBay, you can find her for like $80, which is an insane amount of money to spend on a Catwoman. Well, this one was half off.
And that's not even the Platinum Edition.
Yeah, if you want the one that has the gray outfit, that one's like $200. I just wanted a Catwoman. So I ended up getting this one because it was half off. I think it was half off probably because somebody had opened it and taken out her stand. But it's only the stand. Everything else is there.
That's
so I was
silly.
Like, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, why would you just take out the stand? Like those things are so plentiful.
They're plentiful and they don't really work.
Like, I have so many of them.
Yeah.
I don't use them all the time.
Yeah. I don't know, because I always feel like I have extra ones too. That's why I was like, okay. So right now she's on one of my Batman stands because, she didn't have her own. But I don't care. That's not what I want her for. No, so I feel like I got a really good deal because I got her for like not even $50.
Yeah.
So I was like, thumbs up, I'll take it. Yeah. So that was exciting. Spent more than I'd want to spend on her, but at the same time, considering how expensive she is, it's probably a good idea.
Compared to it's already being sold for. Plus, if you're buying it without maybe free shipping,
you're
already
Oh, yeah.
You're already
No.
struggling there. So that's probably for the best.
No, I know. Now I have to buy the Nightfall Batman, though.
Yeah, we got to get that one. Yeah.
Which isn't, he's not nearly as expensive.
What's Batman? There's so many Batmans.
There's so many Batmans. I literally just got an offer on Mercari for him for like $45.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's
inbox, right?
Inbox, yeah.
Yeah, that's about right.
And I'm like, yeah, and that's about what I paid for her, and she's usually insanely expensive. So I'm like, yeah, okay, maybe I'll do it.
Yeah, I bought Shatterblade Batman.
One of those legends.
I should read. Actually, I'm going to read this.
Was there a little story?
Well, they give like little gimmicky stories here to like justify why they're doing this. So
it just doesn't say money.
Yeah, it's just not dollar signs.
It should just be dollar signs because that's literally why they're doing it.
Sinister cloud of evil is once again settled over Gotham City. When does it ever go away?
It never does.
But from the darkness of the shadows, a faint glimpse of tempered steel catches the eye. In a split-second flash, a furious blur of silver and black screams forth.
Ooh, screams.
Well, it screams. He's like, ah!
Oof.
Why is Batman screaming now? Ah!
I don't know. Calm down there.
Shatterblade Batman has arrived to even the score using secret revolutionary technology. Batman has designed a suit which responds to his brain's neurosignals, making his entire body a living, breathing weapon. His cloak is comprised of several massive, independently responding spline blades. They love this word spline, because I also have another one called Spline Cape Batman, which I think might just be this Batman, but just different colors.
Oh, yeah.
But spline blades strike out with razor swiftness according to Batman's most minute battle instinct. The multiple blades are forged from a new miasma fiber. What are you using miasma for?
I don't know.
Miasma fiber material of unprecedented strength, capable of cutting through stone, concrete, and steel. The blades can be activated individually, such whatever. So
when you're like, oh, it's Batman's whole body, I'm like, is it like the Pope's whole body?
Yes. That's why like, we never know what the Pope's whole body's gonna do.
Well, apparently it died.
Maybe he's got a spline cape.
He might. I mean, the old one died, but
he didn't have the right kind of cape.
It's true.
The right kind of cloak.
Yeah.
This new Pope, Chicago Pope, he's got a...
Well, I mean, the Chicago Pope, I feel like it probably is a little bit tougher than one would expect.
Yeah, that's right.
He's from fucking Chicago.
He used to play stickball back in the 50s. So, also, there was a new Superman trailer that came out this week.
I still haven't watched it.
Which is fine.
I know.
I know I've been badgering you about it, but I respect your decision.
So, and I just want to explain my decision to the folks listening. It's because I don't want the movie spoiled for me. Because I feel like when we start, and maybe they're not going to do that with this one, and I hope they don't, but I feel like when we start going into these movies, they drop teaser and then trailer and then teaser. And by the time you get to it, after the 5 fucking trailers they've dropped, you've seen the whole movie. And I don't want that. And I also don't want to have like crazy expectations going in. Because I mean, that Man of Steel trailer, man, got me. And I had such high expectations going in. And it was, and I don't want that to happen again. I want to go in and just experience as it is.
Yeah.
Though I've heard good things about it. I've seen some of the screen caps. Everybody's questioning who this one dude is.
People are crazy about this dude.
I don't know who this is.
At least you're crazy about it.
No, I just saw it online. People are like, had all these suggestions about who this guy could be. Is it Ultraman? Because he's like wearing a suit and it's got like
looks nothing like Ultraman.
I know, but it has a U, but I don't think that matters. I personally think he's going to be like Parasite, but I don't know. I have no idea.
So here's the thing though, because I pointed out to you today, because now that there's a new Superman movie out, there are insane toys to go with it.
Oh my God. Some really disgusting ones.
Because we love to have shitball toys to come out with the Superman movies.
Yep.
And this one,
especially like the low end ones, the ones for kids.
Yeah, the little kids, the ones you just. But for some reason, though, okay, the one that as I showed you the other day is like Superman fighting that kaiju monster.
That's McFarlane, right?
No.
Oh no,
but they made one. No, but no, the one that I showed you, that's like Spin Master.
No, not the one you showed me today. The other one you sent me the text of.
Yeah,
with the slime.
Yeah. I mean, McFarlane's making a kaiju, but he's not making like
that
a
one
slime spitting kaiju.
Okay, that's probably
which
is disgusting.
It comes with Superman, kaiju, and Pud.
Oh, and you put it in its stomach.
I think it is. I don't know. It just looks just goo.
No, I was really upset by that. Actually, it's like bleh,
right,
bleh. Yeah.
But then today, this account I follow was like, "Hey, check out this Fortress of Solitude one, right? And so it's Superman and Crypto. Crypto
looks so cute.
Crypto's going to be a big star after this.
Crypto, I wouldn't mind getting because he looked really cute in that.
Yeah, I kind of want to get this because, okay, so it's Crypto. It's one of the robots from the one. Maybe it's the
he looked at me. Yeah.
He looked at me. The looked at me robot.
The looked at me robot.
And then this is you guy, right?
Yep, the you guy.
So they're all there, and you have this Fortress of Solitude. You have like places where you put the guys on there. You'll put this flying guy, Superman or whatever, and they spin around. I don't know what else goes on there, but also included in this play set is what appears to be
an abominable snowman.
An abominable snowman. Also kind of looks like a Wampa from Star Wars.
It does.
So George Lucas is furious.
Oh, he's so mad right now.
Disney is out of their minds right now. I'll be like, what the fuck, dude?
George is writing some strongly worded letters.
But
right now,
the Wampa, the figure itself has a blood smear on it.
It does.
Because apparently fighting.
Yeah, I'm assuming Superman rips off his arms.
But that's the thing, though, because then you can detach the limbs, and the bones inside of the limbs are red.
They're red. I'm assuming
as if they got sinewy meat on them.
I'm assuming they do.
And I'm wondering if this is something that happens in this movie where Superman fights an abominable snowman.
And he's ripping off arms.
And he's just tossing these arms, and we're just watching this abominable snowman who probably wasn't even trying to do anything in the first place.
He was just having a nice day.
Probably just going out there to find a polar bear to eat.
Yeah.
Superman was like, fuck you.
Ripping off arms and like apparently slashing some of these toy sets or something else.
So yeah, because I want to imagine like that's happening, and those other two characters, the robot and the you guy, are just like watching. Like, what's wrong with them?
100%.
That's a sign. That's the scene.
That's it.
Ridiculous.
They're like, what is going on with Superman?
Drama.
Catch you?
Francine, look. Who do they remind you of?
Sci-fi.
I am Moji. I come from the depths of space, and I bring you a dire warning.
Enter the world of modern audio drama with ATW Audio Works. Content is available every Friday on all of the finest podcatchers, as well as on twotruefreaks.com.
But we're not going to talk Superman today. Today, we're going to continue talking about Thunderbolts.
Yes. Let's talk about Thunderbolts. And this is a casualty of the trades that I own. I'm blaming the trade.
Okay.
Because the only way that you know, so there's no table of contents here, right? Or there is, but it doesn't tell you which issue is which. It just has chapters, right?
Yeah.
Of the titles of the actual stories, right?
Right.
Fair enough. So in my infinite wisdom, I was like, well, we're going to go ahead and read the next chapter because this is the next issue of the book.
Right.
Which we did issue number 2 last week, and we're going to do issue number 3 of the Thunderbolts.
Yep, but we didn't.
No. The next chapter, which is called Old Scores, which is the title of the story, is actually an issue of Spider-Man Team Up number 7 from June 1997, featuring the Thunderbolts.
Okay.
So that is what we read. It's now,
it does fit into
the story progression fits exactly where it needs to be.
Yes, it does.
It's because Spider-Man was referenced in an earlier issue.
Yeah, we're still talking about the Thunderbolts, like, they're villains, but when they're doing hero things, they kind of like being heroes. You know what I mean? That sort of stuff. So,
but the thing is that the cover of this book, so Spider-Man's front and center, but I just assumed because you got the rest of the team in the background, like kind of chasing after him.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, okay, that's what the cover looks like. A Spider-Man, it's issue number 3 of a Marvel book that just started. Spider-Man has to be.
I was going to say, you got to bring in the heavy hitter.
Yeah, the X-Men everybody else is gone, but you need Spider-Man's still around. Yeah. He's going to be in the book.
Spider-Man has lived, so he gets to come hang out in the book.
He's picking up the slack. So, but that's what we're reading.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's how we're gonna follow along here. The story starts out in Brooklyn at Micron Industries.
Yep, we got some security guards.
We got the one guy who's the jumpy guy and the other guy who's not the jumpy guy.
Mm-hmm.
But then they flash a light on the guy who's on the wall.
And they're like, oh my God, it looks like Spider-Man. Why is he in here robbing this place? And then a bunch of stuff falls over. and crushes a dude.
Kills Mike because it's Mike and Terry, and Mike's the one that has the dirter.
Yeah, well, dirters.
He's got
two
dirters he hardly ever gets to see, but now they're never going to see him.
Because he is now smashed under things.
He's smashed under a thing.
And then somebody has taken a picture of what people think is Spider-Man. It's just like a shape on a wall.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks like Spider-Man, and it runs in the paper. And then we go to Peter's house. His humongous house, by the way, for a man who's always broke. Got a real nice house.
Well, they're living with their aunt. It's not Aunt May.
Is it Mary Jane's aunt?
I think it's Mary Jane's aunt, Aunt Anna.
Aunt Anna, yeah. But so Peter's hanging out at the table, reading the paper. Mary Jane's getting ready to go to school.
Also, I was going to say this. Mary Jane, for what it's worth, I don't know what's going on up until this point, but she always had a pretty good modeling career.
Yeah.
And like daytime acting. So I think she was making a good enough money for them to, at least, maybe rent from their aunt, from Mary Jane's aunt, and have a coffee pot.
Yeah.
So.
I would hope so. I would hope so. But so Peter is like, he's such a pain in the ass.
Yes.
He's just like the most sad sack, I'm the main character, obviously he is, person ever, because he's like, oh my God, how could this happen to me?
Why does this happen to me?
Why is this happening to me? Everything happens to me. Poor me. And I'm like, a dude's dead, right?
Well, even here, he's like a family man, a veteran, and he's got crushed to death in the middle of a burglary.
How did this happen to me?
This sucks to me. I like when they say, he says, man, I hate this, and hate's like huge.
Yeah, and I'm like, you're not the one who's dead, my friend. Yeah, so he's like, how could this happen to me? And Mary Jane's like, that guy is dead. You're going to figure this all out and make it so people aren't mad at you by figuring out who really committed this robbery and killed that man.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, wish this wouldn't happen to me. This shouldn't happen to me. I'm a good guy. This shouldn't happen to me. Spider-Man, the main character of this universe. Kind of is.
I'm the only one left. I guess I get to complain now.
I guess he does.
I complained about probably before, but I'm complaining double. I got to complain for all the heroes that are gone.
He is a little bit of a sad sack, right? He's a little bit of a whiny character.
Peter Parker's always been a jabroni.
Has he always been this whiny?
I mean, maybe not. I don't care so much for Peter Parker as I do Spider-Man. I'd rather watch Spider-Man doing cool shit in his costume, and I don't really care what is going on with Peter and his family and his school. I know it plays into a lot of things that happen to him as Spider-Man, but I do not care.
I don't know. I haven't really, delved into Spider-Man and what's going on with him pretty much since like his cartoon was on the air.
Yeah.
So that's what he's going to do. He's decided he's got to figure out who is impersonating him so he can clear his name. And that's pretty much it.
But now we're going to check out with the Thunderbolts.
Yep.
They are in their new headquarters.
Yes, because at the last issue, after that stupid kid,
Franklin Richards.
Yeah, when they had that little ceremony with the shunting statue, they were like, hey, you could use this Fantastic Four tower so you don't have to be in like the decrepit pizza parlor that you've been hanging out in. That seems to be falling apart.
Smells like olives in there.
And they're like, I guess we'll go to this nice fancy building.
Where they have
like a danger room, basically.
Yeah, like a danger room, which you all are fighting in very close quarters. Like, I kind of concerned. I know in the middle of an actual fight, that's not, that something could happen. But like,
sure.
You have a bunch of needles being shot at Techno. You got Mach-1 flying around, Venerite flying around. You got Atlas, what's her name? Songbirds flying around. You got Atlas holding a big block of something, and then you have Citizen V in the background jumping over what appears to be giant tire damage spikes.
Oh, nice. He's like, I won't reverse. Don't worry about it.
If I go reverse, I'll be dead. But
if I go forward, I'll be fine. So Citizen V is learning how to conquer tire spikes. We're very proud.
And they do this thing where Techno like sucks up the spikes and shoots them in the air, so Meteorite can shoot the spikes.
Sure.
And then something happens where Songbird gets distracted.
So she like falls.
Yeah, she falls, and Mach-1's like,
yeah, because as we know, he loves her.
Yeah.
As they're doing that, all of a sudden, they get a message from their
Dallas.
the mayor lady, Reardon.
They draw this lady who looks so angry.
Oh yeah, she's always
like,
pissed.
there's a kill on the loose. God damn it.
Yeah, she's like, hey guys, since you are heroes, Spider-Man apparently like really shitty now, so we need you to like bring him in.
Spider-Man stole a dude's pizza and broke his neck. You gotta stop him.
Yeah, you gotta go stop Spider-Man, so like bring him in because the police want to question him because they think he killed some dude.
The Thunderbolts like, okay, cool. And she's like, great, I'll modem over you the data.
Modem.
We are saying modem a lot in this book.
Did we ever use modem as a verb?
Well, no, actually, I was actually thinking that too. I was like, do we say modem as a verb? Like, I
don't think that we did. I mean, obviously, like Google we use as a verb, but like I don't think we were ever like, oh, I'm gonna modem this over to you. I just feel like she would have said, I'll send this to you.
I'll fax this to you, even. Or even then, like,
yeah, or even if we're talking like early internet, I feel like the word would still be send.
I always remember when I was a kid and they were like, here's a computer.
Mm-hmm.
It's like late 1980s, early 90s. And these are the best computers we have.
And they're gigantic.
They're gigantic. And you're going to learn how to play Oregon Trail and how to type. I'm like, great. And then they have like a poster that says, here's other things on the computer. And it was just like a phone, but the phone is called a modem. And I was like, cool, I'll never need that.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that is what people called it for a short period of time.
Yeah.
I don't remember it, but that doesn't mean anything.
Mach-1, a former enemy of Spider-Man.
It's a little bit odd in here because there's 2 pages where Mach-1 and Spider-Man say things and there's a star. But that star doesn't relate to anything on the page.
I know, and that's why I was actually...
And I was annoyed by that.
Frustrated by that, because there's other instances in this trade where they do that, and it actually does reference something, like a box underneath.
This one doesn't, and I'm like, where's my box?
I'm like, what'd you do with my box?
Yeah, where's the fucking box? The no box.
Mach-1's like, okay, you know what? I want to kick Spider-Man's ass.
Yeah, he's like, I want to do this because I can't wait. I fought Spider-Man. I want that motherfucker to get his comeuppance, so let's go get him. I know he didn't do this, so he's going to go back to the scene.
Yeah, he does point out later where he's like, Spider-Man is innocent.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't do this.
Yeah, he knows he didn't.
But I just want vengeance.
Yeah, he's like, I just want to fuck this guy over because he's fucked up so many of my plans.
Yeah.
Which, we love revenge. I get it.
I like a good vengeful hero.
Yeah, have we already met our other scientist friends here?
We're about to.
Okay.
But yeah, so the way they split up though is Mach-1 and Songbird go to the crime site. Meteorite and Techno are gonna just putz around looking for Spider-Man, and the other guys, Atlas and Meteorite and Techno are checking out other supplies to places, and Atlas and Citizen V are just like, we'll just go to they go to the Daily Bugle because he's been spotted there. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because and interestingly enough, Citizen V is like, yeah, I almost pity Spider-Man because I can't wait to destroy him.
Yeah,
this is what we do.
Yeah.
So now this is where we meet the Enclave.
I would like to say that one of these men looks like Wilford Brimley.
Oh, 100%.
So he's walking around going dag nabbit and saying diabetes.
Well, these are 3 guys that have kind of futzed around the Marvel universe. They are actually responsible for creating Adam Warlock.
Oh, okay. So it's their fault.
Yes.
I see.
It's their fault. Adam Warlock is their fault. But you have Egon Spanglers looking guy.
Yep.
You have
Wilford
Brimley, and then you have a bald guy with a goatee.
Yes. I do have a question, though. So there's these 3 guys. They're sciencing. Later on, we see that they have scienced a robot. We talked last issue about a robot from the Mad Thinker, but I don't think they're connected.
No, they're not.
So just random robot fighting in both of these issues.
Whenever in June 1997,
robot fights.
It was nothing but android fights.
Yeah, that's all it was.
And Marvel was just like, they're like,
Put
Stan, what do you want to do? So he's like, android fights. Ah!
Yeah, put a fucking android in it.
I'll be an android. Look at me, I'm an android. Put my head on an
Say I
android.
invented them.
I invented it. Stan Lee invented android. That's right. I'll put it in Stan's soapbox this month.
Oh boy.
So, but they have the biomodem. See, again, modems.
We love a modem.
And
the biomodem apparently can control people, but sure. We'll pretend that's
I don't know exactly what it does. I just know that they have this android, and they stick a floppy in it, and it goes off to do a bunch of stuff. I do love though where you have I don't know why, but these guys remind me of the 3. I think it's three chefs that make Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
No, it's not Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's Rice Krispies.
No, not those guys. There's like a bunch of chefs that do Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but the Rice Krispies.
The Rice Krispies are 3 guys, aren't they?
Rice Krispies are 3 guys,
and they're chefs.
I guess. Yes.
Yeah, and they make the Rice Krispies.
But also, well, actually, maybe also kind of like the Keebler elves.
I was also thinking Keebler elves. Yes,
Keebler elves. So,
yeah.
but the
that's
one
just
guy
like a whole bunch of dudes living in a tree, though. So I don't know what's going on there.
Well, instead they live in a tenement somewhere.
That's right, because it's really funny. Where they cut to, they're like the Bronx, and it's just like one building.
Yep, that's all that's left.
Apparently, that's all that's left. But anyway, so we meet these guys. They're doing things, and apparently, all the people who are working for them have been enslaved by this biomodem.
Right. We step away from them and we catch up with Mach-1 and Songbird, and they find Spider-Man.
And Spider-Man's like, am I ever going to meet any of these costume people that I don't have to fight? Because that's all that ever happens. So they're fighting, because he wants to capture Spider-Man.
Yeah, Mach-1's really into this.
He's really into this. And Spider-Man's kind of like, I don't know, this dude kind of, like, he moves like another dude that, like, I know.
Yeah.
This is kind of weird. Something's a little weird here, but I don't know what's weird. So that's going on. But then we go to Meteorite.
No, yeah, Meteorite and Fixer. They're in Hoboken.
Yeah. Oh.
They're going to, after this, they're going to go hang out with Joey Pants.
Yeah. They went to Hoboken.
Go see Frank Sinatra's gravesite.
And this is where they run into the android that committed this crime last.
I love this guy that works here. Is just huge.
Oh, yeah. No, that guy's like the fattest person I've ever seen in a comic.
He's like Oz Cobb.
Yeah.
Kind of.
He's like John Leguizamo's character in Spawn.
What the clown?
Yeah, the fat clown.
He's a fat clown, but
except this dude's just a fat guy in a suit. Like I'm like, wow, they drew a fat person because usually they don't.
That's all this month. Fat guys and androids.
Stan Lee's Fat Guys and Androids Month.
Oh man, can you imagine that would be like his new book? It's like, it's a new book called Fat Guys and Androids. Ah.
You'd buy that book.
I 100% would. Just imagine, it's Fat Guys and Androids.
I would also, yeah.
Here's a bunch of DC characters.
Stan Lee presents Fat Guys and Androids.
Stan Lee presents DC characters and reimagined as Fat Guys and Androids. Oh, look at Batman, he's a fat guy. Look at Superman, he's an android.
I would love to see Batman as a fat guy.
Yeah, so they see this other android, and this is the actual android that killed that guy earlier.
Yeah.
They're about to fight them. But now we catch up with our other buddies. They got Citizen V and Atlas.
Yeah, and so they're just like walking down the street because they're like, you know what? Well, Atlas is
huge.
Because he's huge. And Citizen V is riding the
V.
The flying V, basically the boomerang looking thing that they drive around on, which is very silly. So they're like just walking down the street, and Atlas having a great day because what does he see? 2 babes sunbathing topless.
Yeah.
Obviously,
they're on their stomachs.
They're on their stomachs, so you only see their backs.
Doing that sexy 80s thing where you're like, it's like, hey, look at them babes.
Because you don't want tan lines, so you got to undo your bikini tops or whatever. So he's like, hey there, ladies. And she's like, oh my God, it's Atlas. You're my favorite, Atlas. Can you give me an autograph? And instead of just shrinking down to normal size so he can like hang out on the roof with these women, he's like, well, I can't hold a pen, so I know I'll get extremely large.
Well, you can't get small though because he'll be on the ground. He even says this. He goes,
can't. What if he jumps?
I don't know if he could do that. I think he might hurt himself.
Isn't there a fire escape?
I don't know.
Batman would get up there.
Well, also he's got a guy that's riding a fucking boomerang, so maybe that guy, maybe Citizen V can help because he's like, this is nuts. Because his hands are too big to hold a pen.
Well, and yes, and obviously.
And he's
but I feel like you could just climb up a fire escape.
Yeah, maybe, but maybe those girls might be bored by then.
But here's the thing. If he does that, then they know that he can be regular size.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? Because you can't fuck him when he's that big. Because he's the size.
Or can you?
I mean, you could try, but that is going to be a mess.
Oh, man. That's the extreme tab on Pornhub.
That is going to be like when that guy's head explodes in like Scanners. Like that's what would happen if you try to do that. But if he shrinks down to normal size, then he's a normal size guy and you could totally bang him.
Okay, right. I get that.
You see, that's the idea. And that's what he should be showing these women. Hey, I can be normal size. Also, I can get a little bit bigger if you know what I mean.
I could grow, I could be like Chamberlain and kind of do something there.
Yeah, definite grower. Definite grower.
So, but he's like, well, he'll be too small if I sink down, but if I'm bigger, my skin gets tougher. So how about I just deface your building?
I'm just going to carve my name into your building.
I'm just going to print it.
But not only that, so what? Because I'm like, she's like, I want to.
Well, this girl doesn't care. She's like, I'm never moving.
But what are you going to do? Bring people up and be like, here's the one time Atlas walked down the street and then he like carved his name into my building?
Yeah, right.
You have to bring people up to the roof. Like, what if it's snowing?
Well, also too, the super's gonna be like, "What the fuck?" And he's gonna put cement over it.
Absolutely, you gotta fix that shit. Yeah, you don't want it to like freeze and crack, and then you got found like wall problems.
Oh yeah, just because you wanted an autograph, now you're tenement.
And because fucking Atlas can't think about like any other way to do this. He has to get huge.
Well, he's the big guy in the group.
He's kind of dumb.
He's kind of dumb. He's very much like the hey boss.
He also has like a thing for that mayor lady.
Yeah,
but nothing has come of that so far.
Yeah, no, I don't think anything. I haven't got. Of all this, I've read this. I've never seen them go on a date, so I don't know.
What the hell?
But so yeah, he defaces this building and stuff's happening below. He's like, well, I better get small.
Yeah.
So he gets small, and this is where we run into J. Jonah Jameson.
And his Hitler mustache.
Oh, the Hitler mustache.
I always thought it was a regular mustache with just like not as wide. I don't think it went full Hitler.
They're trimming it pretty close here.
It's full Hitler here.
It's full Hitler.
Yeah, and I didn't think we ever got full Hitler on J. Jonah Jameson.
No,
but maybe we do.
But I laughed. I was laughing because every scene you see him in, he has a
cigar in his mouth.
He has a cigar in his mouth, and his teeth are clenched, like he's just taking a hard shit. And the cigar's in his mouth that's like should be cut in half.
Yeah,
whatever. But he's got a mouth, and anytime even when we see him later, he's just like, and he's just got the thing in his teeth.
And I do not know how he has not had a heart attack and died.
He should have been dead way back in the 70s.
1,000%.
That guy should have killed over and be like, all right, I guess we got a new editor, Spider-Man, and this one actually likes you.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, the other guy died a death at 50.
He died a rage death. That's what that is.
His blood his artery just opened up.
It was just like, I'm so angry. And that was that.
But he's upset because he's trying to park or whatever, and superheroes are there. And he's, Atlas and Citizen are there.
Atlas's foot is like blocking the parking garage.
Yeah. He's like, oh, you're J. Jonah Jameson. I've read your editorials for years.
Yeah.
He says, we're going to capture Spider-Man. He's like, hey, captured Spider-Man? All right. You seem pretty good.
Yeah. You're on my good list. I like you.
And then Atlas is like, I love this job, boss.
Yeah, apparently Atlas totally into this hero thing.
I got, a cigar chomping man likes me, and I scratched my name into a building.
I saw some babes.
I almost saw, hey, Citizen V, I almost saw a boob.
He almost saw a boob.
So I got to see some side boob. That was pretty cool. High five. My big hand in yours.
As a woman, I'm not sure, but maybe just a random day, if you're just a dude and all of a sudden you see a side boob, maybe it does make your day great. If you're just walking down the street and you're like, hey, random boob, cool.
He's like, oh, hey, I saw that.
Is this where Meteorite and what's his name show up and be like, because they finally catch him?
Well, they're caught up with them. We're just jumping back and forth here. So they're fighting. Then Techno and Meteorite are fighting this android. They're jobbing hard here because Techno's getting like feedback and he zapped himself, and Meteorite is shooting him, this android, and it's sucking her in.
Yeah.
And so he calls for help, but we don't see it.
Yeah.
Because the next thing that happens is when we see the other two guys showing up with Meteorite and Techno to go back to where Mach-1 and Spider-Man or Songbird are fighting Spider-Man.
Right.
Spider-Man, who defeats himself because he flies into a brick wall.
Well, because Songbird does something, like she kind of distracts him maybe with her power with the sound or something.
Does she actually make this wall?
I thought that's what happened. I thought she made the wall.
They give this impression, but it's not colored like the stuff she does.
I know, it's very strange. I wasn't sure if she distracted him with sound or she actually built the wall.
Okay,
so
she
tell.
does materialize this wall, but but it doesn't look. I just thought he just ran into a wall. Wall.
That's what I thought too, and then that's why I was trying to figure out if she had actually materialized it or if it was like her sound distracted him enough to like literally smash his face into a wall.
Citizen V shows up with the Atlas, and they're like, all right, you know what? There's been new evidence. Let's leave Spider-Man alone. And so they peace out. Spider-Man, though, throws a
spider tracker
on here on Mach-1. We go back to the bugle for some reason. Because Spider-Man has to be, he's trying to figure out what's going on with the Thunderbolts. Yeah. He's talking to Robbie Robertson. Robbie Robertson's like, talk to this other girl.
Right. Because she's been doing like the legwork on it. So since they showed up. And then Jonah is here just nothing but veins and rage.
Yeah, we sitting there. Well, he's sitting there because Spider-Man's like, I could use some gigs and like, because Mary Jane's school books are too expensive.
Well, I remember school books being very
100%.
Expensive. Yes.
And so he's like, maybe I could take a picture of the Spider-Man and the Thunderbolts. I could probably do that. And J. Jonah Jameson is like, all right, that sounds great. Do that. Do that now. That sounds great.
Get out of my office before my arteries explode and spray blood everywhere.
And so they, the Thunderbolts track an energy signature to the one building in the Bronx.
That is a single building in the Bronx. It is a nice little brick building. It is the only thing standing.
Right.
And apparently this is where our Wilford Brimley and Egon and the other guy are hanging out.
He was known as the other guy.
The other guy. The most important person on this team. The other guy.
And so they're trying to kind of do like this like stealthy entrance, and Spider-Man shows up and just crushes.
Yeah, because he's like, hey, FYI, when you're the hero, you just barge right in.
I do want to point out here, I like with these three guys, because these three guys like hate each other.
I don't blame them.
And there's the one guy, I think is Wilford Brimley, just keeps like spouting exposition and stating the obvious, and the other guy's like, shut up.
Yeah, I was like, nobody likes you. Shut the fuck up.
Shut up, Shinsky.
I mean, that's what he's just like. He's working with the old guy at the office who won't shut the fuck up.
It's like, I remember back when
about how things used to be. He's going to tell you a story.
Paper fasteners. Spider-Man crashes through the window, and the other guy, the Thunderbolts follow him, and now they're brawling with these android slave guys that they have there.
And they're like, okay, it's time to use this like bio modem to really fuck with the heroes. So they turn it on everybody who's there, the Thunderbolts and Spider-Man. And Spider-Man's like, Mach-1, do some sort of white noise so we can't hear this.
Yeah, we can't hear this. And I do like, though, these little bubbles here, when they all get hit, they all just go,
yeah.
And I like, V's just like, He's like, maybe he's enjoying that.
Yeah. So Mach-1 and Spider-Man are the only ones who are not being affected by this because there's some sort of white noise thing going on.
But the rest of those Thunderbolts aren't.
Yes. And they're like, hey, guess what? Time to fight Spider-Man and Mach-1.
Like Mach-1 actually gets his ass kicked pretty good here.
Oh, he absolutely does.
Like Techno blasts him, and then Atlas just backhands him.
Yeah. And so he's like, okay, Spider-Man, I hope you can handle that android by yourself, because I got something to do. So he like kind of throws some smoke bombs, I think.
Well, no, what happens is Spider-Man saves him.
Oh, that's right. Spider-Man saves him.
And he's kind of like, Mach-1's kind of like, oh, well.
Yeah, he's literally like,
interesting.
Yeah, like he's actually like blown away by it. He's like, you saved my life.
He's like, yeah.
And Spider-Man's like, yeah, man, that's what we do here.
That's how you do that,
That's what we do. We're on the same team. I'm going to save your life. And he's like, I feel like genuinely touched by this.
Yeah.
So that's when he's like, okay.
So he drops like these smoke bombs, and then he starts fighting. I don't know exactly how this works.
I don't either.
Yeah, because he's like talking shit to him hard.
Yeah, because he's like, okay, I'm throwing all these smoke bombs while Spider-Man is fighting the android.
Yeah, because other android attacks. Yeah.
And he's like, hey, Citizen V, let's talk about how shitty you, Baron Zemo, are. And for some reason, whatever this is, the shit talking works. And like,
but it also helps. But it also fixes everybody else.
Yeah, once it fixes Baron Zemo, it fixes everybody else. But they didn't destroy the actual modem. I don't know exactly how that worked out.
No, they didn't do anything to the modem yet.
Does Baron Zemo have some sort of power that would let this happen?
I don't know. I just thought he could just do capoeira.
Yeah,
I thought he was and he has a sword.
He's a really good dancer, apparently.
He's a great dancer. Yes.
I don't know exactly how that worked out, because it literally just, you see him start talking shit, and then like the next panel is like Spider-Man fighting, and then it's like, oh, it's over. Everybody's fine.
Yeah, it's kind of
there's no explanation there. It's kind of weird.
It doesn't make sense, but the Atlas just stomps on this android.
Yo, yeah, he's like, let me help you, smash.
Yeah, that's all he does. Just stomps on it with his giant boot.
Which is fun.
Spider-Man, and then the scientists are like, all right, let's flee.
Yeah, they have this like room vacuum is the only way
This is the thing. So they dive into some sort of like portal, and this is the equivalent of like in a cartoon where somebody packs something into a suitcase and then they pack themselves.
Oh yes, it's exactly what it is.
So they dive into this room, and it just sucks up the machinery.
It's room vacuum,
right? But it doesn't affect the other people in the room.
I know. It just takes what they want and it like sucks it out of the room, and then they're like, "Well, that was helpful, I guess." That would be really helpful if you were trying to move.
I would love that. I don't know if on the other end, if it spits it out safely.
Great question.
I don't think that's the case.
I don't know if it's just like a big old mass of despair on the other end. I have no idea.
So Spider-Man is like, hey, I still need to clear my name.
Yeah.
And so Techno or Mach-1's like, hey, Techno, do you have recordings of like this actual proof that he didn't do this?
Yeah, the recording of the actual burglary, I guess Techno had gotten his hands on. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, and he's like, give me the tape.
He's like, I got it in digital Dolby.
Yeah, he's like, I got it in surround sound, and it's 4K DVD. It's really nice.
It's 4K and 8K somehow. It's 12K.
It is so fancy. It is 12K. So he's like, okay, give it to me. And he gives it to him, and he hands it to Spider-Man. And Spider-Man's like, wow, thanks, Mach-1. You're my best friend.
You know, he's still concerned about this team, but he's
like,
but at least they did good.
Yeah, because there is a part earlier when Jonah is yelling at him where he's like, I like the Thunderbolts. He's like, well, if Jonah likes them, they're terrible. But he's still like, well, they were pretty solid here, even though I still kind of feel like something's off. But he's like, all right, thanks. See you later.
And then
they're like, why did you do that? And Mach-1's like, well, Baron Zemo, I kind of had a thought about what you were saying about how we have like a long-term goal here. And it benefits our long-term goal to like throw Spider-Man off our trail and make him think that we're legitimate.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that's brilliant, Mach-1 and your ponytail. Because then
the ponytail.
Then we go back to like the Fantastic Four building, and he's just like having a nice rooftop brood with his ponytail. That ponytail
out. Is soaring.
It is out. It is beautiful.
It is quite majestic.
It is its own character. I'm surprised it didn't draw little eyes and a mouth on it, so we have a conversation.
I'm fighting too, right? Do I get a helmet?
Yeah, it's like Stan Lee presents the ponytail.
Not as popular as Fat Guys and Androids.
No, definitely not as popular as Fat Guys and Androids.
Hey, we can do the team up. Fat guy team up with the ponytail, and there's a fat guy with the ponytail.
Fat guy team up. So he's like, sitting there, and Meteorite comes up, and she's like, just in case you forgot, I'm a psychiatrist. So did you?
What this reminds me of is there used to be an impression that Tracy Morgan would do on Saturday Night Live. When he was playing. I forgot what the name was. That was on The View. It was a Star, whatever her name is.
Oh yes. What's her last name? Star. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Whatever. And every time he would start as this, he's like, "Well, girl, I'm a lawyer," and I'll say, and he would just start every sentence with that
because I feel like she said that all the time.
It's basically what she's doing. She's like, "Look. Guys, look, just understand this. I am a therapist. Did I say this? Yeah.
I am a psychotherapist. It's literally like when you watch The X-Files and every other Scully is like, I'm a medical doctor. Every episode you have to hear Scully tell somebody she's a medical doctor.
You know it. So he doesn't really do anything to help Mach-1 though, because Mach-1's just like, well, look.
Yeah, he's like,
I did it because
he saved my life, and this hero thing, I kind of feel good about. Like, it's making me feel like I'm actually a hero, which she had already experienced saving the stupid shit kid from last week.
She did. She's like, yeah, it's pretty good. It's like, look at your ponytail. It is you're free flying. Look at this ponytail in this last panel.
Oh, absolutely.
It is.
See, even if Mach-1 himself is not a hero, that ponytail is.
He's like, look, man,
that ponytail is saving lives as we speak.
It is.
That's the book.
Spider-Man Team Up number 7 from June 1997. We'll read one more Thunderbolts, I guess.
Oh my gosh.
We're actually going to talk about the Masters of Evil. It's actually kind of great.
Okay.
I think you might have jinxed. There's some characters in this group that I'm still trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
Does anybody die?
No, but Black Widow does show up.
Oh, okay.
She's
nice.
back. She gets off of takes a lunch from her publishing job to.
Oh, that's right. She is working in publishing because she's got that like very publishing outfit on, like
100%.
in that other. What was it? The first book?
Yeah, it was the first book. She's just like she's looking like a published lady.
Yeah, she's like, I live in New York and I work in publishing in the 90s. So obviously that means I have like a brownstone that I afford on my $200 a week salary.
$200 a week.
Absolutely. That's what you make in publishing in the 90s. And that would buy you a 4-story brownstone in fucking Park Slope.
She owned that Enclave building too. You didn't know that, but she owned that too. Yeah. She owns all the buildings. Building magnet now.
Everything.
So, but that's it for this week's show. Thanks for listening. Find us on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky,
all the
Threads, all those places. You can find us pretty easily. Facebook, and also email us, wordscollectionever@gmail.com. Send us a review.
Yeah, sure.
To go on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and you can leave reviews there. That would be really great. But that's going to do it for this week, folks. Also, real quick, I'm sorry, I forgot, YouTube. Angry Hero 79 is my YouTube, but if you click the link in this description for the episode, you could find the playlist that takes you directly there. That's really convenient, and hope you guys do it that way too, because I know a lot of you like to listen to podcasts on YouTube these days, so get at it. But once again, folks, thanks for listening. We'll talk to you again next time.
Bye.